So I get this call a lot since I do a lot of marketing. I have a house here and there, and I want to know how much you can sell my house for, and how much do you charge? When I get this call right away, I already know that the person really doesn't know what he's doing, and I don't mean this out of disrespect. I just say it because there's a lot of misinformation that the consumers have, and they really don't know what to look for. But I really want to focus on how much you're going to charge, because people think this is the largest expense, meaning the commission is it. So because the seller's math is really simple, right? They think you're going to sell the property for X amount, let's say 900,000, because that's pretty much my ballpark. At least for the areas I cover, 900 seems to be an average. And then they want to know how much you're going to sell for. So what they don't understand is when they're asking you how much you're going to charge for, they really know nothing about you. They don't know how good you are, what kind of results you deliver. They have no historic information on you, nothing. And they think because they can get somebody cheaper, ultimately they're going to walk away with more money, right? I mean, look, I understand that seller's math is pretty simple. They think the property is 900. Let's say instead of somebody charging 6, let's say I'll get somebody that charges 4. What is that, $18,000? Great, I can put $18,000 in my pocket or increase the net, and I'm a winner, right? It sounds pretty simple. It has some sense to it, but what people don't realize, it's really not. That's not what costs the most money to sell, because there's two parts to this equation. Okay, first part is how much is being charged in commission, and the second part is how much you're going to shave off on the price. Okay, if your home is not positioned correctly, if it's not strategically put on the market, because as soon as you put a home on the market, I'm not sure if anybody knows here, but value starts dropping off. Every day your home is on the market, value literally starts dropping off. So the longer your home stays on the market, the perceived value drops. In fact, I'm going to show you a quick slide so you can actually follow along with me. So as the price drops, you've just lost, because the leverage that you had originally, right, it's either you have the leverage or the market has the leverage. So when you start marketing your property, you want to do it while you have the highest leverage in the market, while your home is fresh in the market, nobody knows about it, it's a clean slate, right? So after your home's been on the market for 2-3 weeks, now it's becoming stale, meaning people, even though it might be a nice house, they think, it must be overpriced, nobody's paying for it, or nobody wants to buy it. Makes sense, right? So let me quickly show you a quick slide here. Okay, so I'm back. So I'm going to show you the slide really quick, and maybe you can follow with me, and I think you'll understand what I'm talking about, okay? So here is the slide. So you're going to be able to see this right here. Hopefully you can see this. I'm going to see if I can make it just a little bigger for you here, okay? All right, so what you're looking at is house value right at top. So this is value, and on the bottom, if you look at the horizontal line, this is number of weeks the home has been on the market. So what you need to understand, as soon as you put the home on the market, right, you see this initial listing price. As you can see, this line right here, this activity line goes up. So within about, I don't know, 6-7 days, everybody who wants to buy a property, everyone who is currently in this buyer pool has already known about your property. This is the best time to sell your property, because as you can see, as you go further in time, right? As you go further in time, not only does activity and interest drops, this is the curve dropping down, you see this dropping, but something more important drops. That thicker line right on top, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's a darker kind of a purple color. If you follow this line, you can see that the perceived value drops. You can see that now, right? The perceived value literally drops to the point where there's no interest and people think there's something wrong with the property, you overpriced, whatever that reason is. You have to capitulate at this point. You have to do a price reduction, because otherwise, or take the home off the market, not sell. But I'm not sure why would you put it on the market in the first place. But at this point, you're capitulating to the market, and that's what I told you. When you have a good agent in front of you, you either have a good quarterback and a good advisor who knows exactly what to do. He gets you in front of the market, not in the back of the market, so you chase the market down, but actually he puts you in a position where the market actually pushes you up, and that's what we do. By the way, if I haven't mentioned myself yet, my name is Leo Rosell. I'm a broker, owner of Realty Max. We operate out of San Marcos. I've been doing this for a little over 20 years. I have a pretty good track record, and I'll share that with you in a second, but I just wanted to kind of get this curve inside your brain so you can actually understand what happens when you deal with the market. So let me go back to something else. So since now you have this information, let me take this a little further. Agents that just want to sell your home for 4% or 3.5%, whatever that is, if you think about it, they're already telling you there's no value. They cannot show you any value they can bring to the table. All right? It's already a given. And just think about it this way. There's an old saying in the real estate world, if the agent can't negotiate their own dollars or their own commission, they can negotiate with you and drop their commission easily or let go of their money. How easily will they drop your money when it comes to negotiation? Just think about that, okay? But what I want to bring up to you is the following. The agents who are charging less are usually already telling you there's nothing. They're just going to put you on a conveyor belt, throw some pictures on the line, obviously give you put some information out there. Everything's going to go to different websites. We'll put a lockbox and a sign and just let the market kind of do what it does, okay? We don't do this. We do this a little differently. Like I said, we do what I call compressed showings. We want to get everybody in at the same time, and we want to attack the market as soon as your home is in the market, so we get fresh, excited buyers bidding up your property. That's actually what we do. But that being said, I want you to understand there's obviously a difference between agents. Now, you all think we're a commodity, and that's obviously why someone calls me and tells me, hey, how much do you charge? Because they really have no idea of what agents do. But we're not commodities, because look, I love saving money. If I can save money on a TV or something that I can get exactly same model and it's going to be a great brand, and I can save, I don't know, 10-20%, I'll do it all day long. It's just the way things are. But what you need to understand, again, when your home stays in the market longer, you lose value. It's really hard to put the toothpaste back in the tube. It's already out. So it becomes really difficult if you want to recycle this listing or put it back on. So you really want to be careful who you choose in the front. So going back to time in the market. So the longer you're in the market, the less value you have. Sometimes I make a parallel of going to Nordstrom's. Nordstrom's has a few great things and they're new and everybody wants to buy it. But what happens if they don't sell? There's no demand for it. Those things usually end up for a much lower price in Nordstrom's rack or Marshall's. Don't get me wrong, I shop there. I like saving money if I can get the same thing for less. It's great, but the point is, this is your house, this is your equity. And people want to know, why do some agents charge more money? Well, the answer is really simple, guys. Think about it. There's more at stake. There's more at stake. That's it. $900,000. You can easily lose $50,000, $75,000 within 30 days if you don't do things right. So what you think you're going to be paying in commission is pittance. It's nothing. So let me show you what to look for and how really you want to be able to investigate an agent and what you should be asking for. Okay? So I just opened up a browser so I can show you what's happening. You can go anywhere, Redfin, Zillow. I mean, they're both technology companies. People think this is a high-tech business, and I want to tell you again, real estate is still a very low-tech business. It's about understanding knowledge, psychology, buyer psychology, those things that you can't put on a conveyor belt. You really need to understand. It's just like having sometimes you have two surgeons. Both went to the same school, both had exactly the same training, but one has, average result and the other one's amazing. I mean, what's the difference? He gets better results, people recover faster, and people are just flocking to him because he really does have amazing results. What's the difference between between the two? They have the same tools, really, the same education, but is it the intellect? Is the ability to see things in a different way? Is it soft skills? Whatever that is, it doesn't matter. It still applies. And we're talking about dealing with $900,000, $1 million. Each 1% or 2%, just think, comes off really easily. You won't even notice it coming off because you have screwed up in the front, okay? So let me just show you some things. I'm on Zillow right now. I'm going to make this easy. I'm going to hit the zip code where I do a lot of work, 92069, San Marcos. Let's look at this house really quick. Looks like it's sold on the 27th, just a few days ago, okay? I'll show you how to do this yourself so you can do it. So this sold for $835. If you go down, just scroll down, right under the map is where you want to go, because I'll show you who the agent is. Oh, here's the agent. It shows you who was the buyer side agent, which really doesn't matter to you, but what you really want to look at is right here, price history. You see this? This is the important component, because this is where you can really figure out how good the agent is. Okay, so in this case, this home was listed for sale for $892,826. You see that, right? So 9/2, the property dropped to $834, and they already do the calculation for you. It looks like they dropped to 6.5%, right? And then 927, which is looks like about a month away or so, the property sold for 835. So basically they got 0.1% higher. So if you take 6.5 and take away the plus 0.1, we have 6.4%, right? So this particular seller knocked off 6.4% in order to sell this property. And this property has been on the market for, actually, I apologize. This property has been on the market for from 8/8 to 9/27. So almost 2 months. Almost 2 months, okay? 5 weeks, something like that. So what you need to understand, this is where the losses come. So you don't have to, if this agent got 4%, would you be better off to pay somebody 6% and sell this house instead of 834, let's say for 880 or 870, okay? If this house was positioned correctly in the first place, they could have been totally possible. So you have to be able to get yourself in front of the market. Let me show you another one so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Staying in the same area, I'm just going to pick something up really quick. Moonlight, I'm not sure where that is. Okay, let's look at this one right here. Open Door, another tech company. Like I said, they just don't bring a lot to the table. So we can see this property right here was sold 919 for 850. By the way, his estimates are really worthless. They just look at what it sold for and add a couple of dollars to it, as you can see, because computers don't do the work, it's the people. Okay, so here you can see who actually had the house listed. Looks like it was Open Door. Okay, fantastic. All right, so let's see price history. Let's look at price history here. So it looks like right here, the 629. So this is still pretty good market, right? I sold things on that, and I got over asking with no problem at all. So let's look at 629. Looks like the property was listed for $970,000, right? 715. So what do we have, about 2 weeks or a little over 2 weeks? The property was the price was dropped from 970 to 915. Okay, that's what, 60,000, about something like that. 5.7%. Now 729. This price was dropped again, as you can see, to 878. So we're on 5.7 minus 4%. That's already 9.7%, right? You can see that. And on 11th, they dropped it further. This is called capitulation. You're starting to chase the market down. You never want to be there. It's a bad place. You obviously already made a mistake, so you have to stop this, okay? So 811, 1.8%, right? And then looks like they found a fish here at 862. They caught a fish, and it closed at 850, 919. So let's add it up. 1.4, 1.8, 4, 5.7. Let's see, 5, 4, 9, 10. Looks like about 13%. Okay, so this particular seller, not only did they pay commission, be it 4%, 3%, it doesn't matter. This agent is not worth 6%. Absolutely not. I'm not really sure if they're worth 3%, but at this point they must have charged something. So let's say 4%. So 4% and 13%, that's 17% that it cost because of mismanaging the listing and not doing things right. So I hope you've learned something in this video, right? I mean, I can show you more. It's no big deal. I'm sure I can find some more. Let me just give you one more really quick. This sold 915. Sold for $1,120,000, right? Let's go down here. Again, you can see who was the listing agent right here. Looks like Villas, Angela. Anyway, and there is who was the buyer agent right here. But that's not what's important. What's important is right here. You want to look at price history. It tells you a little about the listing agent, right? How well they do. So if you can see, the property was listed for $1,225,000. Remember, I told you the higher the price, the more is at stake, and that's why you want to get the best possible agent for the money. And you shouldn't be cheap on a commission. You should make sure that agent delivers a very high, what we call sales price list price ratio, and that's when you take the sales price divided by the list price, and you get a percentage of what the agent brings to the table, meaning how much of a haircut they usually give you. Okay, so 721, 1,225,000, 84. What is that? A couple of weeks. It looks like we dropped to 1,135,000. So what is it? Almost 100K, right? Almost 100,000. So it went down 7.3%, and then looks like, I'm not sure what happened. Probably the seller said, too much. So it looks like the agent popped it back up to 1.3. So now we are at 6, right? So 6%, right? And after that, looks like they were able to catch a fish here at 1,150,000, and then looks like the property sold at 1,120,000, right? Originally 1,225,000. So what is that? 105,000. That's 7.3%, and 2. What is that? About 10%? Yeah, about 9%. So that 9%, okay, so whatever you paid for the commission, let's say 5%, right? You have to add 9 to that, okay? That's 14%, okay? That's a lot of money. Now, would it not be better if you paid somebody whatever the commission is, if they're really good, right? If they bring something to the table that nobody else does, okay, like for example, our 3-day sale program, where we get things done within a weekend, and maybe this home would have not sold for $1,225,000 because we wouldn't have put it there, but maybe it would have sold for $1,180,000 or 90. Maybe that's where the point was. So again, you have to look at the whole picture. You can't just look at whatever you want to look at. Okay. So that's why when people call me and tell me, hey, how much can you sell the home for and how much is your commission, I know they're shopping. They have no idea what they're doing. And maybe if you know someone like this, maybe now you can educate them. By the way, you can also look up an agent and just look at all the sales. And then again, it's sales price to list price ratio. You're going to take all the sales, final sales price, and you're going to divide them by the initial list price. And that's going to give you overall ratio. Just not to brag, but for the last 12 months, right, our average was 14.7% for the last 12 months, right, from this point back. Our nearest competitor was about 99%, 98%. And we're talking about one of the hottest markets, right? I know we slowed down. There's a cooling effect right now, and there's a chance it might go down further. And that's even more of a reason, more important to get the right agent, because you want to be in front of the market. You want to use the leverage in the first few days of having the listing on the market, okay? If you find this video helpful, maybe you want to click the like button, sign up. I'm going to have more videos to come. Again, my name is Leo Rosell, broker owner of Realty Max. I'm out of San Marcos, although we service the whole San Diego, but you know, that's where we are located at. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.